Good evening, everybody. Well, there's only two of you here so far. Anyway, I'll pretend there's people here. Let's see. Yes, we worked on this the other night, and it gave us a we're not quite. Didn't really find a smoking gun fault on it, but it was still misbehaved. It came up good, so we thought, oh well, maybe we did fix it. But it's back to playing up again after I put it through the ultrasonic. So I guess that means it's not fixed. Let's see what its behavior is. It could be an SMC for all I know. Oh yeah, kind of helps with the power supplies on. That's always a good starting point. Yeah, see, we get fan spin. It goes through the motions of a 3437, which it is. But there's no MagSafe light. We'll get a full bong and everything, but that's as far as it goes. There's something not quite right. So I'll plug this in, and it's not gonna. And there's no screen activation going on, so it's a really peculiar one. And it seems only, well, let's see, it only blinks the green light once, as in it goes blink blink, and then you never see it again. Yeah, it just sort of gets itself into a dead state. And all the while, there's no... Yeah. So it's drawing about the right current and everything, and it just doesn't seem to come to life. So I don't know what's going on. It's not a signature type fault, as it were. Andrew, Blazing, Tony. Been a busy Monday here. I don't really feel like I achieved a lot, but it's been a busy. 99th birthday. Is he still actually with us, or... Yeah. Because I know some people would joke and they say, oh, it's my grandfather's 130th birthday today, and you're like, oh, wow, seriously? And they go, oh yeah, but you know, he died when he was 67, but we still celebrate his birthday. And you're like, yeah, thanks for leading me into that one. 11th of April, yes it is. And it's not the DCM board, because I've used a different DCM board and I get the same result. It still drives at 99. Wow. At the golf course or on the road? A B-Dog? Start. No, this is not going to necessarily be an easy one. This one is... thought it was fixed and it's not. So we're back at it. Well, Andrew, I'm sure a lot of us would actually like to be able to achieve that. I can't even get a MagSafe on properly. Yeah, so this line here doesn't come up. And like I said, we're not getting we're just not getting any sys1y activity there. So that would tend to make you think it's this SMC. Well, throwing it around doesn't help either. Because the bulk of the sys1y stuff is all on the DC board, which essentially leaves the SMC. He used to drive Sherman tanks. I guess he would have too. Would have been the right age for the late 30s, 1940s. I'm just looking for something to jump out. Trouble is I have ultrasonic this, so I've kind of taken my own hints away. Hey Jim, welcome. Hey Daniel. Right, this was the one that had the messed up clock chip. The clock chip's not perfectly on, but it's also not the worst. I mean, I probably should fix that up. I'm not sure I could blame that though. There's a little bit of corrosion on the HS105 switch. Just there. That is meant to be bridged like that. Those pads are indeed connected. Now I might try the HS105 since it does have two little spots of corrosion on it on both sides. I can see the other side has it. Did it have the same symptoms? The symptoms were actually all over the place previously. Now the fun part is to find a board that has one of those still present on it and that does not look like an absolute train wreck. Those are few and far between. Pedro, what you doing here? I thought you'd be rolling around in your new collection of Macbook boards and pieces like Scrooge McDuck. You don't have to eat. You've got you've got the Great Australian Pension and all that stuff in your favour. Oh, what is it? 67 now, Pedro. You have to be 67. I forgot that they're increasing it with each passing year. Just waiting for it to cool down a little bit. I'm feeling a bit washed out this evening, sorry to say. You can probably hear it in my voice, just not quite full of energy. 66 and a half. Surprised I didn't make it 66.6. Well, I guess it is. It's because it's 66 years and 6 months. Oh, whoop, Mr. Daniels can't aim. No, I get the feeling this is going to be a dreaded SMC or something. I'll have a look in J9500 and see what pin that sys1 wire is coming up on. Oh, this is a 3437. Pardon me. SMC BCOC OK. It's on pin 1. And sys1 wire is on pin 19. Okay, so we're going to actually check the diode mode on that and see if it's out of whack. Hey Greg. And I think I may have... No, that looks kind of... Yeah, I think we found the fault. Just gonna put a pillow under its head. I'll help it lift up a bit more. And that's the micro siren. Come on, focus. There we go, that's why we've got problems. Alrighty. It also explains its intermittent nature. So what we have is, at least I'm pretty sure, that pin there, that first one after the ground trunk block, that is sys1 wire, and its little friend next to it is 3V42 G3 hot. And that is particularly messed up. So it's probably the lack of that that's causing more trouble than not, and this one was on its way out. There's a few others that have been a bit corroded, but yeah. Oh, and this one over here, it's... Oh yeah, that's got trouble too. And that is SMC lid. So we actually probably wouldn't have recognized... Oops. We perhaps would not have detected that anytime soon. Anyway, let's clean it up and we should be good, and after I've cleaned it up I can go deal with the micro. Well, I'm thankful it's not the SMC. You're not, I know. Because everybody's like, oh, we wanted an SMC. You can't all have what you want. Like free copies of my software. You can't have that. Not unless I think that you're gonna make me $1 million. What hurts me here is that this board is ultrasonic and now I've got to sully it up. It means I have to ultrasonic it again. That hurts. That really hurts the soul. We're just warming things up. We're not actually going to do any hot air work. We're just taking the chill out of the board so that I can actually solder it with the micro pencil properly. I'll probably have to dab down some solder and then come back to it to finish it off with the hot air. As in using the hot air as an assistant. And someone forgot to put the extractor on. Touch the damn shield on it. Ah. Yep, it's messy, but it gets better, don't worry. This is just the preliminary phase where you get your mass of solder down, clear away the corrosion, that sort of stuff. Alright, now we can actually make it pretty. And by pretty I don't mean bridging it, damn it. How do you not melt the whole connector when using hot air? Joey, that's only at 250 centigrade, but you can not melt the connector even at 470. You just got to keep it a good distance away and watch it very carefully, and it will eventually come off the board. We've done it quite a few times because I don't like usually taking them from the back side of the board or reworking them from the back side of the board. It's okay if you're taking the part off, you just cremate this whole area, but if you're putting it back on, then you don't want to do that. Yeah, let's see how we go. Hey, green light, everything's good. Yippee! Yeah, just practice, that's all. Practice, practice, practice. And patience. That's the hard thing. Finding the patience to sit there and wait for it to happen rather than trying to accelerate it to make it occur sooner. I think I might actually be able to clear that up without having to ultrasonic, because everything else on the board is fine. There's just a little bit of flux there, so I think we'll clean that up with some IPA. It's not going to be as perfect as a proper ultrasonic clean, but it's certainly going to be pretty good. Especially, you know, if you take it from a Bette Midler style, then it's good. Yeah, use the Bette Midler test. Hey, 10 minute. Hey, Christos. Daniel, I just put the LEDs on the connector just as a bit of fun. I saw Paul S had done it on his DCM board, so I thought I would do the same. Yeah. That passes a Bette Midler test. From a distance, it looks fine to me. Pardon me. Right, now I get to reassemble this again. Now, while that HS105 switch may not have been misbehaving, chances are it may in the future. So it was a good thing we replaced that anyway. I'm also very happy I didn't replace the SMC. It would have been completely unnecessary. No, it's definitely not sticky. No. Yeah, Tony, I'm trying hard not to knock any more things with my noggin. It certainly didn't appreciate the garden one the other week, did it? That's at least 3 moderately bad, I wouldn't say concussions, because I didn't have concussion with this one, but I know with 2 others I had concussion. Mind you, that was when I was around about the age of 5 and 8 respectively. Did you take the chainsaw to it? Oh no. That it stays the PlayStation log thing. I haven't had a chance to, but I do have to drop another tree. Unfortunately, a combination of termites and something else have gotten into one of the trees, and I've waited about 12 months now to see if it will work around the damage that they created, but unfortunately it has not, and essentially the entire tree is basically dead. There is growth at the base where it's just trying to respawn, but yeah, the top side of the tree, it all has to come down, which is unfortunate because I particularly like that one. It was a robust, solid, fast-growing tree and provides some nice shade. But looks like we'll have to do without it. Hey, Dodumres, micro reminder. Thank you very much for that. I'll get this assembled and we'll do that. I'm not fretting too much tonight because I actually was about half an hour late in giving him the shot this morning. So I'll sort of follow up on that around about now-ish, once this is back together and booting. Hey Harold, got all your emails of course. I did get that PDF through, Harold. The document that you regenerated just like a couple of days ago as a PDF. Okay. Oh, come on, bend over. I always forget this is 3437 and I'm like, why hasn't it bombed yet? Okay, that's good. Alright, I'm gonna go sort micro out and this can boot. Actually, I might just get it running with the test first. It's charging the battery, so that's good. It's been a little bit sluggish on starting up. Oh, because it's only got 1% battery, that's why. Yep, alright. I'll be back. get the headphones back on the headset, whatever you want to call them. Speaking of which, my Toslink optical audio converter arrived, and finally on the big screen TV I can now listen to my wireless headphones while Elita uses the speakers, which means tonight I'll be playing 7 Days to Die with the full terrifying noise of zombies munching on my brains right in my head. Okay, one way. I didn't give up on this one the other night. It was more a case of I thought it was... I didn't find the smoking gun, but it stopped misbehaving after I changed some parts, so I thought, oh, okay, it's fixed, but it wasn't. Because I took it out of ultrasonic cleaning and put it through the tests, and it said, wah wah. Hey GD Tech. Hey Toby. Oh shit. Sorry. Excuse my language. Okay, so we're doing 24, 25 frames per second. That's pretty respectable. It's not bad for a 1.4 i5 with only 4 gigs of RAM in it. It's actually quite decent, in fact. Yeah. Yeah, I've got to check the other aspects that need to be checked. Okay, that's working. I'm pretty sure that works. Yep. Keyboard test. Left arrow, and right GUI. Okay, that's good. Escape, caps. Okay, what else? I'm gonna do the SD card test. Oh, made me panic there for a second. Eject. Test the temperatures. The fan's looking good. Yep, they're all good. Alright. Oh, and that 1707, what was it, 1706? Other way, the one I was working on last night in the background and complaining about how it was slow and stuff, that ended up being just a bad TMP461 sensor. So once I replaced that, it was all good again. Alright, so this actually can be fully rebuilt. It's handy having all the tools you need for testing nearby, because we all generally dislike having to go through the rather, yeah, it feels a bit brain dead, the process of testing the boards, but it's definitely well worth it. And if you want to make it quick and easy, then yeah, have yourself a nice little bag of gear or a set of bits and pieces that you can just plug into the machines and test away. It is unfortunately a bit harder on the newer ones, because unless the person has given you their password, you're kind of up the creek, and most of them won't even let you boot to an external drive because of the security settings. Mimi, probably because I haven't even read your question. I don't get to read every single thing here. Are those Wera screwdrivers any good? Yes, I have used these for a good number of years and they still work very well. I certainly have no real complaints about them. Yeah, if someone said, would you recommend them to anyone else? I'll go, yeah, I will. On the other hand, if someone said, would you recommend Linux to anyone else? I'd go, not really. I would say, sure, give it a go. But unless you've got a reason for using Linux, then don't use Linux. I know that's not what I'm supposed to say. Given that I've been using it since like the mid-90s, I should be a raving crazy man saying, you gotta use Linux, it's the greatest thing in the world. But I know that it's very much I mean, fine, I use it, I'm happy with it, I like it, I wouldn't want to change. But I'm not going to recommend it to most people. You gotta have a decent reason for using it. Hey Max, how's it going? I mean, I would sooner recommend macOS and Windows for most people. Yeah, Miles, I found that with Android as well. I just agreeably, it's more the implementation of a given bit of hardware. That's the other problem, is that some Android implementations are probably great, and unfortunately most of them are not. And I get it, a lot of them are being put on inadequate hardware and things like that, but I did my years with Samsung and Motorola, and I just was always feeling like I was waiting on the phone. So in the end, I one day switched over to iPhone, and I gotta admit, I have no compulsion to switch back. Would I recommend Mr. Rossman? I'd say definitely not. Yeah, exactly, Jim. It's a tool. And you shouldn't keep using a hammer for everything just because you like hammering nails, because not everything is a nail. So yeah, gotta pick your tools. So like I said, I mean, I use Windows, like I use it for doing iPhone backups and a few other things. I use macOS. I use it for well, okay, that's all working fine. I can't show you what's on the screen, but it's good. Let me just check that it actually handles wake and sleep. Okay, that turned off. That's good. When you say complement, I'm presuming you mean the antithesis? Or the opposing, etc. The yin versus yang. Okay, yeah, so this is what you gotta watch. I can see there's a flicker in that screen, but I suspect it's backlight fatigue flicker. It's there and it's very subtle, but I can see it. Good cop, bad cop, right now. I'm not sure which one I am there. I guess it's relative. On the bad cop when it comes to Linux, perhaps. $6,800 TV. You turn it on. You wait a minute for it to turn on. It turns on. You hit the down arrow twice and hit enter. And a minute later, selector finally responds and opens up. Oh wow, yeah, that's just atrocious. Yeah. I'm actually very happy with the LG 55 P8000 series 4K TV that we have, because it comes up very quickly, it launches the apps very quickly, and yeah, there's none of the lag business, not like the old smart TVs. I'm very happy with this TV. I'm going to boot this again into my stick, because yeah, that flicker is a bit quirky. Could also be the ambient light sensor. It could be. We'll see how it goes when we go full brightness. Why the Lewis hate all of a sudden? This isn't Lewis hate. This This is international communication, messaging, and love. It's a full bromance. I don't know if he knows about that, but yeah. I think it's safe to say that if we did meet each other in real life, we'd probably be bored crapless of each other within 10 seconds. Be like, hi Lewis. And be like, hi Paul. And we're like, dear God, it's boring. It's like, you're boring. Like, rightio, I'm going back to Australia. Screw you. And be like, fix your software. Hey, Sodomizer. Terrible name. Jeez, I gotta stop saying your name. I'm just gonna call you Miser for now. Yeah, well, I do very well at not telling people anything. I just do stuff. I don't teach people stuff, I just do stuff. And the teaching is that most teachers are suckful. And so I'm a good example of that. I'll try to set the standard of why you should not ask me to teach you things, or why don't I have courses or anything like that. It's because I don't want to teach. If I wanted to, then I would, but I don't want to. The only way I'm going to teach is just by leading by example. So like if I cross a bridge and the bridge falls through and I die, then I will consider myself as being a teacher then, saying don't cross that bridge. But that's it. That's it. Alright, there's no flickering going on here, so yeah, I'm a little bit uncertain. It's gonna... Yeah, I don't have the patience to teach. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's definitely got the flicker there. I can see it's up. As soon as I get into it, I think it's just low PWMing. We're at max brightness. It doesn't do it here though. Like I'm down at the same brightness, but it doesn't do it here. Curious. 90% of potential students that will pay and travel are stupid. That, Richard, I agree with. It's unfortunate, but I believe you're quite correct. Most people, and I know a lot of people like Lewis have mentioned this as well, most people are looking for that magical fix or that matrix style, I pay my money and you just inject it into my brain and all of a sudden I know everything, but it really doesn't work that way. And I think it's made quite a bit harder to that. It's maybe not all people, for most people I think, unless you are interested, like really interested and invested in learning as opposed to just trying to make an investment, financial investment, say here's $2,000 now, I want to just magically learn, you're really going to have a hard time picking up quickly enough. Yeah, silver bullet, magic bullet courses, matrix style, osmosis courses, things like that, yeah. It just doesn't happen with most people. And so, they'll walk away perhaps with a nice little piece of paper that says you completed the course, but you do wonder at times how much they really did learn and can they apply that? That's the other thing is being able to apply what you learn to situations that are not what you learned from. What's your aptitude capability and things like that. The only way to learn is to be forced to and be willing. Learned how to code PLCs despite the dreadful Rockwell. Oh man, programmable logic chips. Yuck. when I was at university, we had access to PLAs and things like that, and that was always fun when you'd wreck a $20 chip or something like that because you got your fuse array wrong because you were dumb. You didn't optimize your gates properly. That was an expensive thing to do, especially that was coming out of your pocket. The university wasn't paying for you to blow up those PLAs. Fortunately, at least, we did have some 6.8 HC11s, so that was a little less. How could you say it? That was a little less nerve-wracking. Alright, that one's done. PLA is programmable logic array. They're the ones where you blow the fuses. It's basically just it's just a big grid of and or logic, and usually and or and a not at the end or something like that, and you just blow the fuses that you don't want to make the logic series that you want the chip to do. But the trouble is they are blow once type chips, write once. I mean, you could technically blow them again if you're going to take out more gates, but yeah, okay. Alright, what have we got then? We ain't got diddly squat. Hello, what are you down here? What are you then? Oh, crikey, mate, I forgot about you. Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're already fixed, so we don't need to fix you again. Yeah, the knee, can't take it. I've pretty much got everything fixed. I've either got everything fixed in terms of jobs, or it's dead. Well, when I say dead, I mean I've declared it dead, which I presume I'm going to stick with that. That's okay. I've got a stack of boards here I need to get through as well. So just give me a second and I will return to the deck. Okay. Nine. What is your issue? Harold, are you making flip-flops out of PLAs? Yeah. We would just be making like translation matrices and things like that. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a part missing there. And that looks like some damage. But it was around that time, because this was early 1990s, that people were pretty quickly moving away from them and preferring things like the 6811 series, stuff like that. It was still expensive, certainly more expensive than the burn once type logics, but you could see the future was there. Oh gee, dead bugs. Literal bugs. I think Osis was just yanking on your chain then. It's basically saying it's old person's talk. He's probably thinking, wow, why don't we talk about punched card computers? Because I'm not that old. I at least started out with the Z80s. Oh, sweet goodness gracious, that's gnarly. Right, gnarly there too. Alright, let's clean this up and see what we got here. The translation stuff, I use EPROMs. Yeah, that is the smarter option. So we didn't actually get to the point where we were using PLAs for like actual real world scenarios. It was more a case of using them as an example, yeah, just a training thing. It's like, okay, well, this is what you can do with the PLA. And yeah, oh man, that is. Ugh. Some good corrosion there. And I really didn't do a lot with microcontrollers until the Atmel AVRs sort of came out. By the time the Mega 8, Mega 16 came onto the market, that's when I sort of jumped in on the microcontrollers. Mostly because at that time you could program them in Linux very easily, and you only need one resistor or maybe three resistors and a parallel port and you're good to go. Hey sweetie. Yeah, sure.
A bit slippery because of
Yep.
oily fingers.
Okay. Do you mind if I have any?
No, you can have it.
This is fresh. You know what? Maybe you can just get me a glass or something. But yeah, when the Mega 8, 16, and then the Tiny 13, when those AVRs came out, that's pretty much when I thought, yeah, okay, I'm ready for this. And I picked them up pretty quickly. The Harvard architecture was a little bit weird initially, but you it just becomes second nature pretty quickly. And I must say, I do like the way that most of their instructions are done within 2 or 3 cycles. I was never a big fan of the pick. I thought the pick always felt to me like trying to ride really quickly on a bike that had like 10 speed on it, and you were stuck in the lowest gear, so your legs would just be spinning like crazy and you just felt like you're getting nowhere. So sure, you'd be running at 40 megahertz, but you'd really not getting very far at that 40 megahertz. Danke. Thank you. Up the oh geez, those cow bugs. Yeah, the Futurama. Yeah. They're like a cross between a ladybug and a cow. Yeah. Harold, that brings up the other reason why I particularly like the AVRs is that I was able to just code in C and produce, produce the flash that I needed. Yeah, Oliver, you did hear a Danke. Damn it, can't remember what those ladybug cows were called. Yeah, so sorry about that, Travis. I can't give you an answer on that. As soon as someone spits the answer out, I'll be like, oh yeah, of course that's what they're called. Let's see if this thing even works. Aliens. So 34, 37, so it should be up, down, up, down, up. Man, Christian, I still get the AVRs all the time, you know, the new ones. Bugalows, that's it. Thank you, Rob. Yes. Bugalows. And I see Atmel have brought out a new series, but I haven't had a chance to look at them. But I believe that they now have mappable ports, which is a nice addition that they were lacking a fair bit of. Like a lot of people, I don't know how useful mappable ports are, but a lot of people seem to want them, so I guess they did have their use. I do wonder though that with some jobs if there's a transfer delay because of that, but I don't know. Anyway, that seems to work, which means I've basically done nothing, to be honest. So let's see what's going on. Let's find our 1466 chassis. Yeah, not that one. That's the pristine one. We don't use the pristine things around here. Only the worst, scummiest stuff for us. Yeah, the STM32s was sort of the thing that took the higher end market away from the Atmel AVRs. Still, to be fair, I think Atmel shot themselves in the foot with the the Mega X series. Their initial presentation or offering of what it was going to be in the X Mega, it looked very promising, and everybody was like, yeah, this is going to be good. And then when it arrived, and it's essentially a completely different beast, and it felt very foreign. It was like, what, we're going to have to relearn everything again? Which is kind of funny, but it just kind of threw a lot of people. A lot of people were expecting it essentially to be a 18 mega, but with more ports and more peripheral, more functionality within it. Instead, it was kind of like the closest parallel I can think of is like when Intel decided to bring out the Itanium, and everybody just sort of looked at it and went, what are we going to do with this? Everything has to be changed for this new chip that you've produced, and we're not interested. And then, of course, AMD brought out the 64-bit extensions, and everyone's like, we'll take that. But in the case of Atmel, it ended up that the STM32 sort of ate that market away from them. They kept the small end market, like with the Megas and the 8-bit stuff, but they lost the high-end stuff. Sounds like a repeat of the Z8000. Yeah, basically that sort of thing, yeah. So the Itanium, the Z8000, yeah, in fact, it's obviously a lot more than just chips that happens to. You often find with games, many other products that we have every day, they produce a successful version that everybody wants, and they come out and they bring out this, I guess you could sort of second system version, and they completely wreck or miss what it was that attracted everybody originally. Doesn't help that the AVR chips are so overpriced. I got to agree, yes, the AVR chips are very expensive for what they offer. I didn't find it too much of a problem because my bill of materials would usually be a very small portion of my end up sale cost. So it didn't affect me too much, but you are right. For what you get on an AVR, it generally is not so crash hot in terms of your dollar value. So if you do have a very price sensitive product and you can't afford to have much of a margin on it, then yeah, it's going to hurt and you will end up with better a chip like a STM32. So this is a 1.4, 4 gigs. It's looking pretty dandy fine to me. Yep, all good. Right, this one's another one that can hopefully just go into the ultrasonic cleaner and be good to go. Yeah, actually that Wi-Fi section looks a little bit gnarly now that I look at it. Okay, it's a bit gnarly, but yeah, actually maybe I'll test that. It'd be funny if that was the issue all along. Funny, haha, not really, but hey Pinov, been a while. Have you been okay? You're still at university, are you? Still racking up the academic skill points? Yeah, what am I after? I'm after a 1466 Wi-Fi module. No shortage of those. Anyway, for what I do, the what do you call it? The AVRs, I find them acceptably fine for cost for what I'm doing. Like I said, probably the most popular product I had. Its BOM cost was about, I think I got it down to about $3.42, and that's Australian, but it doesn't really matter. And I would sell the product I was making for about $39. Now, of course, there is the labour factor that went into it. You know, that's the other thing. You can't just look at the bill of materials and go, well, you know, why are you making nearly 1,000% profit on it? Because you've got to look at, well, how long does it take to build and test and all that sort of stuff as well. Okay. Well, Pilnov, have you finished with university now, or yeah? I guess we don't really know much about what you do for a career. We just make assumptions. I was going to say, once again, 34, 37 catches me out. Oh, Tony, you're a COBOL programmer. You should still be popular with the banks and be able to draw quite a good income from that. I think the oldest language that I dabbled in and I didn't mind was Fortran 77, but I never really ended up in a career area where Fortran 77 was relevant, so that didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it looks like we're good for Wi-Fi. So I'd say ultrasonic and should be good. It's, oh, I'm not connected to the internet. Do tell me why I am not. Is the date and time wrong? Yeah, probably because it thinks it's January 2018. That's no good. My password is 4 ones. I don't know why, you have this synchronized to somewhere, but then if your time's not right, then you're probably not going to be able to get Wi-Fi anyway. Let's see, I guess this is probably American, so 11.4, 11... No, I was wrong. Okay. 041 112022. That'll be close enough. You don't have to be deadly accurate. I did it wrong anyway. Should have been 1104. 1104. RPG, good old AS400, OS400. I didn't get much with that. When I was over in South Africa and they had the AS400 systems, RPG obviously was what most of the developers in the office would talk about. It caught me off guard initially because I thought, what? They're doing role-playing games? But yeah, I quickly realised they weren't. I don't know if it's been changed since, but at that time there were issues with file name lengths and things like that. What is going on here? Why are you not... Why do you feel like you are not on the internet? Jim Allen, why did you hate Pascal? Was it too wordy for you? Which seems a little strange considering you're a COBOL person. Maybe the DNS is all wrong on this. Oh, yep, that works. That's good enough. Shut it down. And also, I suppose, Tony, I should ask, Jim, I should ask, which Pascal were you using? Because obviously there is a great number of them. Although most people tend to usually refer to the Borland implementation, being Turbo Pascal or subsequently Borland Pascal, before they, in my opinion, kind of butchered everything and went over and created Delphi. To be fair, I thought Delphi was very good initially, but then when you're getting into the 2000s and they basically still have that antiquated widget set, and it was like, you guys going to update this sooner or later because you're kind of being left behind here. It seems they spent more money on changing their company name to Inprise and then back to Borland and all over the place than they did keeping the product up to date. Hey, Michael Tritz. What's this? Oh, Pilnov's still got 8 months to go. Okay, sorry, Pilnov. For some reason, I thought you had finished, but I guess you meant the undergrad side and then the doctorate side. Pascal was a pain. Yeah. Okay. I guess it all depends on the situation in which you find yourself when you're having to do these things. Like for me, Ball and Pascal was very nice. Well, Turbo Pascal, then Ball and Pascal, I guess. I was doing Turbo Pascal when I was at high school, but I did end up switching over to Ball and C, and I found that far more my thing, which was good because at university everything was done on C. And yeah, sort of once I left Pascal, by the time I looped back around just to see what it was up to, I found Pascal just too wordy. It was like too much typing to get what you wanted done, and certain limitations that I had that I found frustrating, whereas C didn't have those limitations. And just some things you get used to and you don't want to let go of. Pascal compilers are not too clever on mainframes. That is true. Scott L. Yes, that was actually the enjoyable part of buying or updating Borland products. Is you'd get that box of so many different individual packages. It was very overwhelming. In fact, you get the compiler and then you'd get like the Turbo Vision toolkit and all that sort of stuff. Turbo Vision was actually a really nice addition. And I said I really enjoyed the DOS text mode side of it, but I never really got into the Windows side of it, and I jumped over to OS2 after that. Let's see, 20220411. And then from OS2, it was also concurrently Unix systems at the university. And then after OS2, it was off to BSD and Linux. Yeah, Tessa, some people really don't like C because of things like pointers and things like that, but I actually really don't mind pointers at all. It's a very handy facility. Yeah, OS2 Warp was a very nice system. I mean, the downside of it being that it was a single user system, but it was a very nice single user system. Unfortunately, the marketing for it sucked, and IBM kind of dropped the ball, and to be fair, Microsoft basically just outmaneuvered them. It's sort of set them up with a little bit of a, here you go, we're going to share everything so that we're compatible, and they and then just left IBM holding a grenade that went off in their hands, and that was it. Windows took over. And if that wasn't enough, then when Office came out, that was definitely the death knell of OS2. I mean, OS2 was a great system, but unfortunately, the people using Windows are the ones that basically push the market, with Office. Like, I mean, you couldn't get people to stay on WordPerfect 5.1, even though I prefer WordPerfect 5.1 over Word, but just simply because of the sleek, direct interface. I understand why, because Word was sort of WYSIWYG, whereas WordPerfect 5.1 was definitely not. And then, of course, the subsequent releases of WordPerfect really didn't. It was too late. It was just too late. Okay, so that's another one for the ultrasonic to munch on. So let's find another one. So I might have a look at one of Jason's prior boards. Maybe maybe there's something I missed. You know how it is. You can get overwhelmed with some boards and you just sort of go, you know what, I don't know anything about what I'm doing now, I'm just completely useless. So that's probably going to happen again, but we'll give it another shot. So this is one of Jason unofficial Max boards. Looks like something's been reworked there. What is this? 37 something 67 or something? Oh, it's 3332. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what's redone then. That's, yeah, U8900. And it was done quite some time ago. Oh, yeah, okay, no, I remember this one. This one is this is definitely a dead doornail one, sorry to say. I remember that great big hole in it. I was going to put a big fat X on it. That was unfortunate. Alright, next one. What's wrong with this one? Oh, okay, CPU has a whole bunch of flux around it. Looks ominous. Displays missing stuff too. So which one's this? Another 3332. And U8900 has not been touched. That's also ominous. Yeah, that CPU is giving me the heebie-jeebies. Let's see what we can find out about it. So we just need the short DC in connector. Get the MagSafe. Damn it. Tonight I'm picking up MagSafe 1 all the time instead of MagSafe 2. Okay. Nada? Ish. Yeah, nothing at all. Interesting. Blown fuse. And Isacat, stick with like, what is it? Stick with 4DOS. 4DOS was great. I finally brought to DOS what we all have been using on Unix. Okay, so we've got 17 volts coming into there. And and then I go looking for my 3V42 section, which I never remember where it is on the. Oh wow! Look, I thought that was stationary smoke for a second. Okay, here we go. This, no, yes, no. Similar chip, but it's not it. There we go. 5.5. What? Okay, that's obviously not 342 then. This is why we have board views. Okay, 17.6, we're getting into there. 344. We've got prerequisites there. Okay, nothing on there. Let's see, how bad shape is this CPU section? .5. No, I don't like the feel of that one. 1.6. 1.5, 1.6. I've got a working one here. Oh wait, no, you're a different board. I do have a working 333 though. I will just find it first. At least I think I do. Ah, here we go, 332. Yeah, 1.5. Okay, no, they're matching. That's okay. It's all good. This is why it's good to have a known working. Okay. Alright, so we're not getting any real current draw. We do have 342. We don't have 1256. Where's my ISL? It's kind of easier if I... Okay, 6259. Nothing overly bad looking there. Let's have a look at the inputs. 1.66. Oh, where's my second one? Ah, no. No. There. .94. Is this one wrong? Time to bring out the board view. The trouble is I've gotten so used to the A1466 boards that a lot of the figures I'm expecting are not obviously the same. Okay, so we've got 2.2 and an O. Okay. Pardon me. And we've got 10, 10. Okay, so this one here, we should have been reading 20 something, and we did not. So that is a problem. Let's trace down. So 28, 27, unless I was just measuring the wrong ones, which again wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, that one there, that should be in the region of 20 ohms, but it's not. Brain farting. My brain, yes, is always farting. Oh, I know why. They're the 10 ohms there. Duh. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's why I was scratching my head there for a second. I thought, wow, that's actually oddly low, but not shorter. Well, we'll power it up again and see what voltages we do get around on this ISL. So I'm just rearranging my windows here so I can do two things at once. Okie dokie 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 dokie. So 19 and 20. Where are you? 19, 20. Okay. Test points up the side. These two. 5 volts? Yeah, that should be 5V1 in, yeah. Okay, I've got 5 volts in. Pin 2. DC in. So that's this chunk over here. We've got that, 17. Okay, pin 3 is charger AC in, that's after it's been divided. 4.22, that looks about right. Let's have a look at ACOK, which is pin 14. And naturally the bastards don't have a test point for it, but that's okay, it's this one here. ACOK is okay, so we're telling the SMC or whatever that things are good there. Okay, let's have a look at the inductor on the other side and see if we've still got some kind of voltage up there. That's this huge chunk of a thing. Alright, so we've got 1227, okay, so I guess that's basically going to say that our SMC is cactus. Oh. What the? Well, no wonder the SMC's... What the hell happened here? Is it any wonder it's not turning on? How many parts have I got missing there? Jesus Christ. Hey look, it's one of those not gay chips. Speaking of which, I sadly had a 2159. I thought, yay, it's got the symptoms of the GAV chip fault. And it turned out it still wasn't it. Yeah, well, what the hell's going on here? It's probably just going to be an SMC failure, but all these parts have been taken. Ah. Why is cactus the word for dead? Good question. I don't know. All I know is that when we say something is cactus, it means it's dead. D-E-D. Dead. Because we don't believe in saying things the right way. Ah, 3787. Why? Why do you do that to me, 3787? You're not a real board, 3787. Come on. Please note, I am just randomly lashing out at this point. What I actually say really doesn't have much bearing on reality. Not 3787. Why did I buy all these 3787s for? Why? Stupid 3787. Alright, well maybe there's not so many parts to replace because that is a fairly sparse area. This is going to be fun because it's a bit hard to interleave both. I'll do my best here. When I randomly lash out, I get foil and rubbed all over the solid board. Now I'm going to make an assumption that that floaty part is actually meant to be just below. I just found it interesting because, yeah, all of these have got marks that indicate some sort of part was taken from them. Okay, so that's one done. Let's see, line. We're missing one here. So this is going to be out of focus. I'm forcing my eyeballs to work with this. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to put some proper solder down there. This may not succeed, but hey, it's going to be interesting. And if I can get it to work, then I'm going to sell it to Pedro for $200. And Pedro is going to love it. He's going to be like, oh boy, 3332 for $200. I'll take 3 of them if you got them. Alright, so there. That's missing. I actually don't even know what the hell that is. A little green, almost looks like a 105, but I'm pretty sure surely it's a 201. There's so much blood coming out of that board. I have no idea what that is. I'll have to have a look at it in the board view. Chuck it on eBay and you get 600. Now, I'll have to be sure that I'll mark it as not functioning, and then when they find out it is functioning, they'll be like, oh, score! The stupid person didn't even know they was selling a working board, and then I'll put more up later, and they'll be like, oh, I'll take everything on the menu. Not realizing that I basically just scammed them into buying all my trash. because they thought that I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I think actually, in spite of terrible appearances, that is everything. Yeah, it's just curious that all these little Hershey kisses have come up, but it's not actually as bad as it looks. Of course, there's still probably something dramatically wrong with this board. But hey, you want to experiment, that's what you get. It sort of enhances your diagnostic abilities, or not. It may also enhance your state of depression. Alright, let's see how we go. Still nothing. 8 milliamps. 8 milliamps, it's a very nothing value. Like I said, we've got our 342, we've got nothing else, so I am sort of inclined to think that this is an SMC fault. And unfortunately, this does not have an SMC on it. In fact, I'm not sure if I've... Yeah. Yoda's gonna come out again. Yes, he is. Triple through old pain. Oh god, this board. Oh, this board was horror. Absolute horror. This board was absolute horror because when the person messaged me to tell me about this machine they had, they knew it was a 3332. They were telling me, probably it just needs U8900 fixed and everything. And there was so many red flags in this person's original message to me that I actually just outright said no. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm not going to fix this for you. And they said, why won't you fix it for me? Why you avoiding me and all that? It's like, I just don't want to fix this because I know what's going to happen. And they did eventually leave me alone. And I thought, phew, that's good. Anyway, a few weeks later, I get a job submission from one of my B2B people who send stuff to me. And it's a 1398 and 2012. I thought, okay, this is going to be U8900. Lo and behold, it is that person's job. They basically sent it to someone that they somehow knew was working with me, and they so they injected it that way. So I did what I could to fix it, and I was never quite happy with it. But needless to say, this went on for months, and then it started having VRAM issues, and it was just a nightmare, like I knew it would be. And in the end, I basically was so sick of it, I just sent one of my known good working 3332 boards with the machine, reflashed it with their serial number, and I just said, I do not ever want to see this thing back here again. And I haven't, thankfully, and I hope I never do, because I'll just reject it. But it really sucked because I knew that, okay, that's been reworked. I knew it was a bad job, and they still got it through to me. And to be honest, it wasn't so much the board I was worried about, it was the owner. Because sometimes you can tell when you're going to deal with a person that you know you're not going to be compatible with. I mean, I know you don't have to have a great... Yeah, it's not like you need to have this exorbitant relationship with the customer. But you need to have something, and you need to know that, okay, there's going to be some degree of respect between each other and all that sort of stuff. And I just knew this wasn't going to happen, and this was a person who wanted to basically know every time I scratched my butt while reflowing or redoing the U8900. It was just one of those people that like to get involved in every little detail, and they research everything, and yeah, that's really good. But there are some of us that know in advance that that is not a job that's compatible with the way I work. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that cost me a lot of time and money, and I'm very unhappy about it because of the fact that I knew it was a dud job right from the start, but it still found its way to me. Hello, Albert Apter. Wow, I cannot. One of these days I'm going to have to put some effort into understanding Cyrillic a bit better. So I apologise. Should I recommend you to musos with... Oh, musicians with... I actually do get quite a few. I also get producers or video editing people. This is also... Yeah, had SMC. Like when the latest Survivor Australia was here doing all their filming and stuff, that's the one that just finished up on TV now in Australia. They had a few of their MacBooks come here to get fixed up overnight, and they were really good. They were pretty cool about it. Some of them I couldn't fix entirely. I limped them through. That's what I get for being the Australian Mac God. I'm not the Australian Mac God. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there with vastly superior skill sets for MacBook repairs than I have. Vastly superior. The only thing I have is that I'm assertively hated by Mr. Rossman. Well, I shouldn't say hated. That's too strong a word. He doesn't like that word. I should say he has a strong disdain for me. Or rather my software, I guess. Righty, okay, here we are, back at this game again, where we do the SMC. SMC for me. Come on, Mum. Let's get some stenciling going. Splash some fresh solder spheres around the place. I can't say the word I want to say because YouTube will ban me. So, god damn it. So I have to say spheres. But hey, if you're a 7 Days to Die video person, you're allowed to cuss your head off as you get munched on by zombies, and you don't get demonetized. But whoa, no! If you mention spheroids, wow, that's an instant ban for you, Mr. Daniels. Okay, not a ban, but you know what I'm saying. Demonetized. It's kind of like in Mortal Kombat. It's like fatality. So yep, there goes all my money. Isn't I Don't Hate You New Yorker for Love? Yeah. I don't know. I think Lewis has moved on from me. I think he's looking for a new and exciting romance. Not this false stuff from over the seas. He wants someone that he can spar with a little more. I don't really provide that. I'm a little bit too Like when he whines about things, I'm like, alright, well, there you go, that's fixed. And he's like, nah, it's not what I wanted. Alright, maybe, oh no, I was going to say maybe these are, I think they are lead free though. Good enough. He doesn't update. Yeah, well that's the problem, isn't it? Every time I see someone using his workstation and it's running that old version, I think he's got like 1060 on it or something, it hurts me so much. Because I'm thinking, you're supposed to be, you know, the light, you're supposed to be the one that sets everything right. But instead he's turned to darkness and he's not updating, and now everything's out of balance. Hey Drachev. Okay, looks like we've got some Cyrillic chit chat going on. I might have to convert that to English at some point soon. It'd be handy for those of us who are not gifted with sufficient lingual capacity. Do I have a brother named Jack Daniels? Oh yeah, I got rid of him. He's dead and buried about 22 years ago. When I was over in South Africa, that is all I was known as. It's all, anything and everyone called me. Very few people over in South Africa knew me as Paul. Almost all of them just thought I was legitimately Jack Daniels. Richard Wright, they're talking about the invasion of Ukraine. I'm gonna guess. That's a negative on that Osis. Ek gaan nie Afrikaans praat nie. Okay, now I need a stencil. Oh wait, no, I need a couple of balls first. Thank you, Drachev. I much appreciate that. Like I said, I don't have a problem with people chatting, but it is a little bit tricky when the majority don't know what's being chatted. And yes, we are using the old style instead of the hot plate, but the good news is that I do have the CNC machine coming, so hopefully I'll be able to produce my own dedicated SMC hot plate reballing system. Drachev, how would you pronounce his name closest in English? Do you know the difference between Titanic and United Emirates? I do not. I'm assuming you mean the United Emirates. So which one goes down? I don't know. Which CNC did I go for? The 1810, I think it was. I can't remember. The only thing I'm not happy about it is that it's a mobile gantry one. I'm not a big fan of the mobile gantries. I prefer my gantry to be as non-moving as possible, but I was a little short on options, so I took the compromise for now. The main reason I don't like a moving gantry, or at least not in two axes, is that you do get a lot of movement in that. I mean, slop and things like that, but yeah, the one I wanted wasn't available. Artem? Okay, I thought it might have been Artem. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go down to about 10% air, 320. Why not the super popular 38? The main reason I got the one that I did is because it is made out of metal. And so I guess that's sort of why I went for the compromise. I figured, oh well, at least if it's metal, then so long as they don't push it too hard, it should hold up. So we are at 320 centigrade, 10% air on the Atom with the 9mm nozzle. I'm kind of thinking 10% air is even a bit much. But basically what I'm trying to do is get this thing really up to temperature, because the biggest problem I keep having, this will be the first time I'm using the new Amtech flux, so I don't know how this is going to go. This could be a complete and utter normal reflow where everything goes wrong. Okay, so I'm getting everything up to temperature. Those spheres are starting to go in a matte sort of finish, and I'm just gonna... Okay, that should be enough. Let's see how many spit out now. I'm lacking a bit of flux on the left side. I sort of didn't want to overdo it, but I think I kind of underdid it. And I gotta say, this has actually gone pretty good so far. That one there seems a bit reluctant. I didn't forget the IPA. I did the IPA right at the start. Yeah, it's just a bit of a problem over here. It didn't quite work out. But over here it's all good. I think I needed more airflow actually. $15, $3.20, let's try that. Like I said, new flux, new rules. There's a couple that just don't want to jump on. Maybe I didn't clean the pads well enough. See, like those ones, that just, let's try a bit more heat. 330. So here we go. Like I said, you change something and you got to go through this whole damn process again. I think I just magically made them all work. Okay, they're definitely sitting down now. Like I said, it's always tricky. Change things using a new flux, and it behaved a lot better this time. Let's see how many actually stay on. Okay, so we lost one. That's okay. That's it, just there. That's pretty good going. Yeah, I'd say I probably didn't clean the pads well enough. Come on, don't you dare skirt off. That ball reflowed, but it is not touching yet. See that? See how it just moved? Okay, now it's sitting in. It just couldn't break through whatever the bit of muck was on that pad. Ah, great. Everything was still frickin' fluid and I touched it. Yeah, it's good. Leave it alone. I'm not surprised Paul S. gets aggressive. He doesn't take kindly to people being stupid. I quite like watching Paul S.'s videos. I remember when Paul S. was, to put it slightly depressingly, when he was just another normal YouTube's chat person in the Rossman streams like the rest of us. But now look at him. He's revered and everything. He's famous. He's highly respected and in demand. If you can't solve something, Paul S. is the man to go to. Okay, hopefully there's not too much flux residing on that board, but we're going to find out. But yeah, when I listen to Paul S. get cranky at people, I'm like, I agree. And the things that he tells you off about, I'm like, I agree. Not that I would actually probably want to meet Paul S. or have him sort of be near me while I'm working, because I'm a little scared of him. I'm a little scared that he would say, you know what, Paul, you're doing that wrong, and I'm like, yes sir, and I'll try and fix it. Now on the other hand, if Lewis tried that on me, I'd be like, go to hell, Lewis. See, the big difference is that I consider myself and Lewis to be equally bad at MacBook repairs, but Paul S, on the other hand, you know you're dealing with someone who knows their stuff, and you're just like, better listen to what this person has to say. Okay, I'm going to put 90% chance this doesn't do anything different. That's my guess. I'd probably argue against the tweezer scraping if Paul S called me out on it. I'd be like, they're my tweezers. I'll do what I want. But if it was an actual technique thing, then I might listen to him. That's just the Marine in him. Yeah, that's true. That is upside down. That is correct. Alright, here we go. And as predicted, nothing different. Still 8 milliamps. What is going on? Okay, we must have a short of some kind. Well, that came out with a different accent then. We must have a short of a different kind going on around here. So, oh yeah, that's great. So we're going to bring out the cheat cam, aka Gym cam, aka cheat cam, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Now, of course, this is going to be all wildly skewed now because that's all hot. So, but we can fix that. There we go. That's going to do pretty much jack squat, to be honest, but hey, I'm doing it for dramatic effect. Okay, are you on? So I think Anel actually used Paul's tweezers to scrape. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, in that case, I give. Yeah, I'm right there with Paul on that one. You don't go doing that to other people's tools. General rule with borrowing tools is you return them in the same condition or better as what you took them. And if you cannot, then do not take them. Oh, come on, don't freeze up on me. Why you freeze up on me? Okay. Sorry, I had something in my mouth. Okay, so we're not actually expecting something obvious to jump out. What we're looking for is a pulsar. Something that just periodically will go blip and show up. Okay, and I can already see the SMC is actually warm. I'm going to flip it over and see if anything shows up there. You can return tools in better condition if they are not already in top condition themselves. That's why I say the same or better, depending on the condition which you're working on. Basically, the issue we have is that even though it's only like 7-8 milliamp current, it may be having very short pulses of high current, but unfortunately the power supply cannot actually track that quickly. Like the power supply only updates maybe 10 times a second, but this pulse might last, you know, 100th of a second. Okay, there's a bit of something going on over here, I think, but it could just be a reflection. Rule 2, never lend out your tools. That is the other good tool, rule to have, I agree. It could be just a dead ISL for all I know. Yeah, as a rule, I do get people asking me to lend out tools, which is particularly hilarious when they're like, oh, look, we just want to fix our iPhone and we know you fix iPhones, so can you just lend us the tools that we need to do it? Because we've already bought the screen. And I'm like, crikey, mate. Yeah, you ever heard of the word audacity? You really need to look that one up. Oh, I'm going to swap the ISL. It's a BS Hail Mary, but I'm going to swap it. And then if that doesn't do it, then I'm going to have to go through and start checking Rails, which I probably won't because it is approaching 12:30 at night. And I've got better things to do with my life than to mess around with boards. I may not, but I'm going to keep telling myself that. It's just such a pretty ISL. How can the ISL possibly be broken? Yeah? Lies. Yeah, basically, yeah, just never lend tools. And if you do lend tools, then be prepared to learn a lesson about not lending tools. Oh man, I hate it when the stickers get all gnarly. Kicking Jason Vilma's butt when it comes to the amount of flux I'm using here. Of course, now I've lost the game. ISL 6259. No, wrong way. You're thinking of snot, not flux. I already did the resistor check, Arnold, but thanks for mentioning it. I did that right at the beginning. This is probably going to end up being something really dumb that I'm not looking for. I think that's another reason why I don't mind spending a bit of time with these sort of jobs, is because you do get out of practice with the mindset, the process. And when you get out of practice, you forget what was otherwise perhaps a normal sort of sequence that you would follow. And you go, oh yeah, I forgot about that step. Oh man, like... Yeah, as expected, 8 million. Okay, we have got a short of some severity somewhere. At least that's my guess. PP Bus G3 Hot Fuse, yeah, I did check that. Well, actually, you know what? I didn't check them, to be honest. I checked if there was voltage, but I didn't check to see if there was continuity. Because I could have gone along and just fooled myself. the continuity. Sadly. So why wouldn't we be getting 1256? We get 12... basically, the SMC's not coming up. So I guess I better go start seeing what I need for the SMC in terms of rails. And we know we have 342. And we're still stuck at 1228. So the SMC is not turning on for some reason. So maybe we've got another part missing somewhere. Hey Jim, take care. And good luck with the doctors. At least as much as you can have. I know it's not exactly... yeah. That's a little bit smashed, but not really thinking that's going to cause the drama. Famous last words. Oliver, do you think so? Do you want to tell me which ones? Because when I compared to the other 3332 board, I didn't see any more, but I could be wrong. I'll have a look at the... let me have a look at the board that I hate. The one that... yeah, the customer one, yeah. There we go. We'll do a stack comparison. Again. Okay, so this is... okay, very first thing I noticed is... okay, this has got... that's crazy. This is very populated. So how is it that the other one's got everything missing the same way? What are the chances? What are the chances? And I thought it was looking rather sparse, but like if you compare that other board that we drew the first couple of parts from to this one, yeah, we could see there was only one or two little parts missing. So what are the chances that they were so well matched up? That's crazy. Yeah, well, good thing I double checked. Thank you. Okay, so we've got a stack of 4. So 3 plus 1, 2. Okay, so the first thing we'll do with these two here. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't know. I don't know how it sort of got to that position, but all I know is, yeah, it's definitely issues there. Because, I mean, even myself, I was shocked when I was sort of like, oh, it seems like they're all done. Wow, that second one didn't want to let go. As far as I know, Jason hasn't used this as a donor board, so... because it came in as a board to be fixed. Got a little bit too much solder on those pads, but we'll just have to live with that for now. Okay, again, focus issues here, but it's... I can see my way through it. But I know it's a little harder for you guys. One thing I noticed is that part is different. Yeah, I've got the green one up here. Well, they don't have a green one. They've got something else on that lower board. Okay, and I need these three. Don't screw it up, Paul. That's more like it. That's how it should have been the other night. I know also I haven't been using Jason's boards as donors as far as I'm aware, at least not consciously. Part of my sort of standard policy. That cap's also missing. Yep. Yeah, lots of harrowing experiences, Tessa. Lots of god damn it, lost that part, where the hell did it go? And lots of car crashes, crying, all that sort of stuff. Okay, yeah, I do not like this green part here. I'm not sure what that is meant to be. Maybe I should just check on the board view. R5000 is just 100k, and I don't know what that's supposed to be, but that does not look like a 100k resistor to me. It looks more like a fuse, if you ask me. A fuse or a RF filter of some sort. Either way, it's not staying. Forgot to put the leaded solder down. Okay, let's see. Looking good, looking good. Yep. Yeah. Okay, this resistor here is not present. So it looks like this might have been a broad scale SMC catastrophe. sort of thing that Lewis likes to think that I do on a regular basis and constantly saying "sweet mercy," but is in fact just pure propaganda. By the way, if you do recall, Lewis did end up putting out a couple of videos where he was like apologizing and stuff like that for all the remarks regarding stuff I'm doing. He didn't put that out for me as such. He just put that out because there were so many people misinterpreting what he was actually doing. He just sort of was like, geez, you know. I personally didn't have a major issue with it. It was all good banter. Hey Warren, good to see you there. I'm about to go to... If this doesn't work, then I'm just shutting up shop for tonight. Yeah, Travis, exactly. I'd get people say, why does Lewis... Yeah, I'd get emails like, why does Lewis use your software if he hates it so much? And it's like, that's just... Oh dear. But at least they had the courtesy of actually asking me, because they were thinking, we don't understand. So it was nice of him to actually email me and like, ask for a clarification, in which case, I could just tell him it's just international banter. It's just the way people enjoy making fun with each other. Hey, green light! Yay! Try to solder an SMD LED to a LED strip using a micro pencil. Oh, trying to solder. So you should be good to go. Satire, yeah. Hey, something just went wrong then. It shut down. Right. Okay, so it's got a little bit of a loopy issue, but this has not had U8900 fixed up on it. Not that I would imagine that would cause that fault. But I could be wrong. Let's reflow U8900. So at least we're a lot further ahead now. By the way, I don't mean reflow U8900. Please avoid doing that if you can. I mean, yeah, if you reflow it, no biggie, but the reason why I'm sort of saying be a bit cautious is because, the GPU is just around that area, and we have had instances where people have gone at it a bit much and subsequently cooked the GPU. So you can heat up the area, just sort of warm up the board to about 150 or whatever, just to give your soldering tip a chance. So that's good enough. Because basically I like to use the micro pencil on this, and I almost always gobble up that resistor by accident. It didn't this time, thankfully. It's a very interesting effect that you get on the boot process if you do eat that resistor. Saw. I know some people have this amazing skill where they can solder all four sides without rotating the board. I have not been blessed with that. I think we're good. I need to clean this off so that I can make sure that I don't have any bridges. Because while there's flux on there, it is possible every now and then, due to the optical properties of flux, to end up obscuring a bridge. And we'll just dry that off. And then we'll look at it from the edge. Hey, Anonymous. KDO, yeah, I'm working late. I'm just about to finish up, actually. Okay, that's pretty good. That looks okay. That looks nice and shiny. That's how you want your joins to look, nice and shiny like that, and filleted in. And our resistor is intact. Let's see how we go now. Oh, I just realised I don't even have a heat sink on it, so it could be... Nah, it's still botching up. Okay. That's shutting down pretty quick. So we made progress, but maybe not enough. What concerns me here is that the rate of which it shuts down seems to be a little bit unpredictable. So we get up, we blink, then we shut down. Blink. Okay, I see it hits a whopping 1.5, 1.6 amps straight up. No, you know what? I'm finishing for tonight. Yeah, I don't want to keep going on this. I've made progress and I'll have a look at it tomorrow if I've got time outside of the other jobs. I'm going to go off now to play 7 Days to Die with my new headphones so that my wife can enjoy the thrill of me squealing like a little girl when the zombies come along, and you know, I can hear it straight in my head. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate you being here. It's always good to have commentary. I know even if I banter back, it is always good to have a bit of a crowd to enjoy the experience with. So thank you very much once again for being here, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, you'll take care. I'll catch you later.